Hello, Dave here. Let's do functions. Let's do an episode about functions. An episode, I guess we're calling these episodes. A video on functions here. What's a function? Function is a call to action. It does something. If you're writing Swift programming, a function is where the action happens. So it's declared with this func, and then you type a name of the function, and then you pass in any variables, and then the action happens. We're continuing with my little example. This is in Xcode Playgrounds. And in our previous example, I've got a name. It's a string called David Levy. It's a variable because I change it later on because I join a band. Remember? Remember that? And I've got weight, 150, because I'm on the Naturally Slim program, an excellent weight loss program. And I've got a job. It's an array of strings. Okay, so let's make a function, and let's play with the whole weight thing. Let's say our function is not called it's called eat. And we're going to eat a food. And we'll just say the food has a name. So food, it's called something. And inside here, just to prove that we're eating something, we'll type in a print statement, munch, munch, yummy, dot, dot, dot. This dot, dot, dot is slash parentheses, and you can pass the string into here. So now we've got our first function. We're done, right? But unfortunately, the function is not getting called. See, nothing's happening over here. Nothing's happening down here. Why not? Because functions kind of exist on their own as like a block of code that you would execute later. So if we typed in eat down here, now let's say we're eating a Pop-Tart. Munch, munch, yummy Pop-Tart. It's happening. Let's say I'm eating a yummy Pop-Tart. Okay, so you can see you can call functions multiple times too. Let's go bam, bam, bam. Let's do it 3 times. Pop-Tart, meat, and then flautas? I don't know how to spell that. Let's just do gefilte fish. Nice Jewish gefilte fish. No one likes it, but it's tradition to eat it. It's kind of like a fish meatball that's served cold. It's just disgusting. So we usually put horseradish on it to make it, I don't know, I guess it's just to distract you from how disgusting gefilte fish is. Okay. So eat, eat, eat. We're eating Pop-Tarts, meat, gefilte fish. And you can see these things happen in sequence. 1, 2, 3, in order, like, you know, the order that you wrote it in. Let's also say now that every time I eat food, I gain weight. So inside of this eat function, I'm going to say, you know, my weight, it's now equal to my weight plus a pound. And so now if I print my weight down here, it's 153. I gained 3 pounds eating Pop-Tarts, meat, and gefilte fish. But a Pop-Tart's not a pound. Gefilte fish probably isn't a pound. Meat might be a pound. You know what? Let's do something crazy here, okay? Let's change this to a double. So a double is kind of like that, right? It's got a decimal point and a placeholder there. So, and let's say that not all foods are just 1 pound. So we're going to pass a second variable in here. We'll call it eat food and weight. And it's going to be a double that we're passing in now. I think you can do this, maybe not. So the weight of a Pop-Tart, let's say, is 0.5. I realize that this is perhaps not accurate as far as how you gain weight, but whatever. The weight of your meat is a pound, and the weight of your gefilte fish, let's say you went crazy, you ate 3 pounds of gefilte fish. You are the most weird person I've ever known. And now your weight is 145.5. Cool, right? You can also do additional things like, let's get a little grosser. Let's say there's a burp. You don't necessarily have to pass a variable in here. You could just print burp as your action inside of this function. And let's say that every single time you eat, you burp. So you can put a function inside of a function. See, munch, munch, I'm eating yummy Pop-Tart, burp. Munch, munch, I'm eating yummy meat, burp. You could also put them out here too. Maybe you burp twice there the first time. So functions can exist inside of functions too, I guess is what I'm saying. And the other important thing is you don't necessarily have to pass a variable in. But you do have to have that parentheses. Like if you just said burp there, it's not going to know. Huh. Well, that's interesting. I'll have to look into that. Maybe you don't have to have that there. That's crazy time. That's a whole new development. It just changes my whole world. All right. So what I want to do now is I want to take all this stuff and I want to show you what it's like actually inside of an Xcode project, because Playgrounds kind of works different than the real deal. So we'll start a new Xcode project really quickly here, just as a demonstration. Create a new Xcode project. Single view application. We'll call it goes there. Okay, and again, these are your files, and we're going to navigate to the view controller because this is a good place to start. We'll learn about classes, but just know that you want to put your code inside of the view controller. You can put things, variables and such outside of the view controller class, but for now, let's just leave it inside there. If you put things outside of the class, then they're accessible across your whole they're more easily accessible across all of your files, but it's not advisable. You can do that. It depends on, we'll have to go into reasons why you would do it or when you would do it. We'll have to do that later. For now, put all your stuff inside of here. But if you paste everything inside of here, you'll see some things break. They're cool with you declaring variables in the root of the class. I don't know what you call this, but this empty space behind the class, they're cool with you declaring variables there, but they're not cool with you calling functions to happen inside there. That you'd have to do somewhere else, like inside of a view controller. Like let's put it in here. It's cool with that. So all these actions that we called before would have to go inside of another function. Functions, you can't just call them in the empty space out here. The emptiness of space. So let's clean this up just a little bit and show you what we got. So now I've got two functions that I made over here, and I've got some variables that I declared at the top of the class, or inside of the class of the view controller. And when the view loads, now it says, hey, I'm also a singer, I'm also a songwriter, my name's Dave Strand, I eat Pop-Tart, I burp, I eat meat, I eat gefilte fish, a lot of it, and then I print my weight. Let's see if that works. Command R will build and run, or you can hit the little play button up there. And you'll see inside of Xcode, when it logs down here. And there we go. Our program is complete. So message me if you have any questions about functions, but the main takeaway is this is how you write them. This is where they go. Bye.